Children, today we are going to discuss one of the important topic of trigonometry, which is conceptually important, right? Because sin x, cos x, tan x are the periodic functions. Why? Because the value of these trigonometrical ratios repeats itself, oscillates. Like sin 0 is 0, sin 180 is again 0, then sin 360 is again 0, right? So let's see how. So before try to understand ASTC graph here. If we divide a graph into 4 quadrants, so this will be the origin. This is x-axis, plus x-axis, minus x-axis, plus y-axis and minus y-axis. This is our first quadrant where x and y both are positive. This is our second quadrant where x is negative and y is positive. In third quadrant, x is negative and y is negative. And in fourth quadrant, x positive, y negative. Right. Now, suppose we are starting the angle from 0 degree. This x-axis representing an angle of 0 degree. So when we start moving to plus y-axis, we'll cover 90 degree. So this angle will be pi by 2. More from here, if we move from minus x-axis, so this whole angle will be 180 degree. Again 270 degree. Again 360 degree. So 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2, then 2 pi. Now you can see that 2 pi and 0 are at same position. That means whatever the value of the trigonometrical ratio at 0, that is the same value of trigonometrical ratio as 2 pi. Right. That means 2 pi is equals to that angle at 0. And sin 0 and sin 2 pi both will be same. Cos 0 and cos 2 pi both will be same. Right, children? Now, let's try to understand how this graph works. If any trigonometrical ratio lying in first quadrant, all the trigonometrical ratios are positive. Right? In first quadrant, all the trigonometrical ratios are positive. In second quadrant, only sine and cosec are positive and rest are negative. In second quadrant, if the trigonometrical angle is lying, here only sine and cosec will be positive and rest will be negative. In third quadrant, tan and cot will be positive and rest will be negative. And in fourth quadrant, cos and sec will be positive and rest will be negative. Right. This much understood. Now let's discuss when the trigonometrical ratio will change. That means when sine will change into cos, when tan will change into cot, when sec will change into cosec or cosec will change into sec. Remember children, whenever you find any angle 90 degree plus theta or 90 degree minus theta, or 3 pi by 2 plus theta, 3 pi by 2 minus theta. That means addition and subtraction of odd multiple of pi by 2 when you find, then sine will change into cos and cos will change into sine, or tan will change into cot, cot will change into tan, or sec will change into cosec, or cosec will change into sec. When there is a odd multiple plus minus that angle. That means pi by 2 plus theta or pi by 2 minus theta. 360 plus theta or 270 plus theta or 270 minus theta. Similarly, 5 pi by 2 or 7 pi by 2 or 9 pi by 2. These are odd multiples. Whenever you find odd multiples plus or minus any angle, the sign will change into cos and thus conversion happens. Whenever the angle is written in 180 plus theta or 180 minus theta, that means even multiple of pi by 2. Pi is what? 2 into pi by 2. 2 pi is what? 4 into pi by 2. Right? Right, children? Understood? Pi is what? 2 into pi by 2. 2 pi is 4 into pi by 2. That means even multiple of pi by 2. So whenever the angle is given in addition or subtraction with pi or 2 pi, that means even multiple of pi by 2, there will be no change. That means the trigonometrical ratio will remain same. Sine will be sine, cos will be cos, tan will be tan, and so on. Right, children? Note down this much. Okay, children, we have studied ASTC graph. Then next is you have studied these values, right? We have studied in class 10th that sine 0 is 0, sine 30 is 1 by 2, sine 40 is 1 by root, sine 45 is 1 by root 2, sine 60 is root 3 by 2, sine 90 is 1. Then cos 0 is 1, cos 30 is root 3 by 2, cos 45 1 by root 2, and so on, right children? All these values we have discussed in class 10. If you have not learned these values, try to learn these values, right? Now with the help of ASTC graphs, I am going to calculate the value of sine 4 pi by 3. Sine 4 pi by 3. Now let's see here. What we'll do, we'll break this angle into pi or pi by 2 format. Like I have written 4 pi by 3 in form of pi plus pi by 3. Right. Now pi plus pi by 3 is again written 4 pi by 3. Right children? So sine pi plus pi by 3. That means sine 180 plus theta. Any angle, say theta. Sine 180 plus theta. When we add anything to 180 degree angle, it will lie in third quadrant. It will come here. This is 0, 90, 180 and something else. So it will be theta. It is lying in third quadrant. And I have told you that in case of 180 plus theta or 360 plus theta or minus theta, the sine, the trigonometrical ratio will remain same. So sine will be same because 180 plus theta is written, it will be sine. Now you have to check whether it's minus or plus. Sine will be minus or plus. So we'll see that on which quadrant the angle is lying. The angle is lying in third quadrant. And in third quadrant, sine is only tan and cot is positive. That means sine is negative. So the value of sine 180 plus theta will be negative. That means sine pi plus pi by 3 will be minus sine pi by 3. Right children? So minus sine pi by 3, the value of sine 60 degree is root 3 by 2. Pi by 3 is what? 60 degree. So it will be minus root 3 by 2. Understood children? Note down this. Okay children, let's discuss the domain and range of the function, of trigonometric functions rather. What is domain? We have studied in the previous chapter. Domain is the input value and range is the output value or the image of the input value. So domain is the pre-image of the range, the value given in the codomain. Right children? Now let's discuss the graph of sin x. If we draw the graph sin x, the sin x is a periodic function. Sin x, cos x are the periodic function. That means there are few values which keep on coming again and again. For example, sin 0 is 0, sin 180 is 0, sin minus 180 is 0. So this 0 keeps on coming again and again, no? So that means the sin x is a periodic or oscillating function. That means the value between minus 1 and 1 are keep on repeating themselves. So the range of the values of this trigonometrical function lies between minus 1 and 1. Right. So the domain will be all real values. That means it is defined for all real values of x. Whatever value you put as x, you will get its image, which will be in between minus 1 and 1. So the domain of sin x will be all real numbers and range will be minus 1 and 1. Similarly, the domain of cos x will be all real numbers. Cos x is again a periodic function and range will be minus 1 and 1. The domain of tan x will be all real numbers except odd multiples because tan x is not defined as pi by 2 and range will be all real numbers. See the domain of cot x. Now cot x is cos x upon sin x and sin x is not defined as 0, pi, 2 pi, right? So what we'll say that cos x domain will be all real numbers except n pi. N could be any integer. The value of n is integer. N belongs to integer. Okay, if you put n equals 0, minus 1, plus 1, you'll get we can eliminate the values at which cot will become not defined. So we can say that cot will take all the value, cot x will take all the values of the domain which are real numbers except n pi. So the range will be real numbers. Let's talk about sec x. Sec x, we can say that sec x can be written as 1 upon cos x. And cos x has 0 value at 90 degree. That means at odd multiple of 90 degree, the value of cos x is 0. So when you take out the value of sec x, it will become 1 upon 0. So it will become not defined, right? When the value is not defined, so we cannot take its image. So we can say that sec x has a domain, has an input value, all real numbers except odd multiples of pi by 2. And the range will be all real numbers except the value between minus 1 and 1. Same as cosec x. Cosec is again equal to 1 upon sin x. Sin x is not defined as n pi. So the domain of cosec x will be all real numbers except n pi. And the range will be all real numbers except the values between -1 and 1. Right, children? Note down this. Let's discuss few sums, children. In this sum, the question says that find the range of fx equals to 2 minus 3 cos x. Right? Fx equals to 2 minus 3 cos x. Now we know the range of cos x is -1 to 1. That means the value of cos x always lie between -1 and 1. Right? That means cos x is greater than equals to -1 and less than equals to 1. Now when we multiply -3 in all the terms of the inequality, what did it become? -3 into -1, and the sign, when we cross multiply or multiply with minus sign, the sign of the inequality will change. That means it will become -3 cos x less than -3 cos x and greater than -3 into 1. So it will be 3 greater than equals to -3 cos x less than greater than equals to -3. So this inequality we can write as -3 cos x greater than -3 and less than equals to 3. Right? This is the same thing I've written here. This and this are same. I've just written this side, that side, then the sign of the inequality will change. So now if we add 2, because we have the value of the function is 2 minus 3 cos x. We got -3 cos x. We have to add 2. So when we add 2 here, what we'll get? 2 minus 3. Right? 2 minus 3 and is less than equals to 2 minus 3 cos x less than equals to 2 plus 3. Now 2 minus 3 is -1. 2 minus 3 cos x less than equals to 2 plus 3, 5. So 2 minus 3 cos x is the required function of which the range we have to calculate. So I am writing in place of 2 minus 3 cos x as fx. Now this fx is greater than equals to -1 and less than equals to 5. That means the value of fx is lying between and equal to 1 and 5. So the range of fx will be in the closed interval -1 and 1. This square bracket means equals to as well. Right? Okay, children, now try to understand this parenthesis and square bracket, where we are going to use parenthesis and where we are going to use square brackets. Suppose the value of x is greater than 0 and less than 1. Then we are going to say that x belongs to 0 and 1 in open interval. This is a sign of parenthesis is the sign of open interval, right? That means x is lying between 0 and 1, but it is not equal to 0 and 1, right? And suppose it is written x is greater than equal to 0 and less than 1. That means x is equal to 0, but x is not equals to 1. And x belongs to all the values between 0 and 1. So it will be written like this. X belongs to square bracket 0, 1 parenthesis. This parenthesis shows that x is not equals to 1. And suppose it is written x is greater than equal to 0 and less than equals to 1. So it will be x belongs to in square bracket 0, 1. That means x is equals to 0, x is equals to 1, and x belongs to all the values lying between 0 and 1. Right, children? Now you got the difference between parenthesis and square bracket. Right? Note down, please. Let's see another sum, children. In this sum, we have to calculate the value of sine 31 pi by 3. Now, whenever any big value is written, we'll convert that value and break into sine 2 pi plus theta, 2n pi plus minus theta, right? We break like 31 pi by 3 can be written as 10 pi plus pi by 3, right? 10 pi plus pi by 3. And this 10 pi can be written as 5 into 2 pi, 5 to the 10, 5 into 2 pi plus pi by 3. Now take a note here, children. Whenever it is written 2n pi plus theta, 2n pi plus theta, n belongs to integer. Always it will be integer. I will not repeat this again and again. 2n pi plus theta, n is integer, and any trigonometrical ratio. That means it will be, suppose I have taken sine here. So directly write sine theta. If it is tan written, directly write tan theta. That means if any trigonometrical ratio 2n pi plus theta, that will be the value of that trigonometrical ratio, that and that angle, right? Cos 2n pi plus theta will be cos theta, sec 2n pi plus theta will be sec theta. It will remain same, right? Because it is a periodic function. Now if it is written sine 5 into 2 pi plus pi by 3, it will be sine pi by 3, right children? So sine pi by 3, sine 60 degree has value root 3 by 2. Understood children? Note down please.